For the past 6 months, you have seen us talk about like the craziest, wildest animes. But now we're all putting it all together to talk about our absolute favorite. What are you doing?
I'm doing the Mortal Kombat.
You're distracting me. I'm Minty.
I'm Annie.
And this is FunUntitled, where we start every podcast with an FU. And we've decided to stop talking about just one anime and talk about potentially 9 animes as we go over our top 3 favorite arcs of all animes. And I say 9 because we do have a god tier that we both agree are like the best of the best.
Now, our criteria is, well, I'll say my criteria and you say your criteria.
Okay.
My criteria? There has to be absolutely no flaws. If there's a single flaw in that arc, it better be tiny ass or else I'm gonna nitpick at it. Because I wanted to put a lot of Hunter x Hunter arcs in mine, but there's always that one flaw. I was like, no, you get out of here.
How dare you talk about Hunter x Hunter like that?
How dare you? Yeah. Didn't have a comeback. And a second thing is that something important had to happen to the main characters. I don't want no filler arc in my top 3. And there better been an emotional moment that made me feel things. Because if you cannot pander to me emotionally, then you're just a sausage fest equivalently.
It is weird how our criteria are very different.
What's yours?
Okay, I would say the top 2 things is 1, gotta have a good fight scene. There's gotta be good fights in it.
Alright.
If there's no good fights, then what am I watching this for?
Okay.
2, there has to be a good villain. A good villain usually makes it a good fight.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to necessarily be a villain. An antagonist would work just as well too. But I think a foil between the hero and the antagonist is so good to watch sometimes. And it just drives a really good message.
Look at me. Naruto Pain arc is not a good arc. I just need you to say that.
I like the Naruto Pain arc.
Oh, see, my thing is, there is not any anime out there with a good villain.
Frieza?
Okay, you know what? Yeah, fuck my drag.
I've said this before. Frieza is like the Joker of manga and anime. He is literally the best villain because he's so simple. His motivations is pure evil.
Yes, but I will contest, I never saw Dragon Ball, so it's not like I can, attest to Frieza. Unless Team 4 saw Dragon Ball Bridge count.
I think the Super Broly movies are good enough. He's a simple character. If the Broly movie was an arc that we could just pick, that's already number 1 for me, but I can't pick that because it's a movie.
So, you're an action slut.
I am, yes.
We should find an abbreviation that's a synonym of slut, so we could have action something.
You don't want to say action slut?
Well, I want an alliteration.
Oh.
So it needs a synonym of slut, but starts with an A. Yeah, we'll think of that later. We'll call this series whatever that is.
Okay, so let's just briefly go over our god tier so you know what weirdly encompasses the 2 things that we're looking for. We'll start with number 3, which is Demon Slayers, or Kimetsu no Yaiba, the arc right after the movie. So, for all you anime-only watchers, you may want to skip ahead a couple minutes. It is the Red Light District arc with Uzui.
The premise of it is literally Uzui selling our 3 main characters, Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu, to whorehouses. That's all you need to know.
I love the villain.
Oh, what was her name again? Daiki? Dio?
Something like that.
I'm so terrible with names, but I love her. Her powers was pretty cool, and then, I don't know if you want to spoil it or not.
Maybe not, but if you're a manga reader, you probably read past that part by now.
The fight scene was really good.
The fight scenes are fantastic. When season 2 comes out, we'll talk about it more.
Oh, I hope they use all the money they got from the movie to make that arc really nice.
It is a little bit longer than I would have liked, but whatever.
I think we get to see sexy Nezuko in it.
That's really what I was looking forward to.
Oh, Uzui's so hot.
Uzui is hot. Number 2 is, of course, One Piece. And now, One Piece has a lot of amazing arcs. We could have talked about Dressrosa. We could have talked about Alabasta. But the one that we are choosing is specifically Emperor Down.
The world of One Piece is so interesting, but the prison system of One Piece is 10 times more interesting. It was just really cool to see all these villains you thought you'd never see again except from Oda's chapter covers all come in and help Luffy.
I do think it is a little blasphemy that we didn't choose an arc with like at least most of the crew, but this prison break arc was just hilarious. It was just constant obstacles they had to face, so many characters, so many personalities that it's just like, because the One Piece crew, they jive, right?
Yeah.
This is just like the clashing of metals, where nothing made sense and yet they all had to work together. Except Luffy and Bon Clay, because they cool bros.
And the pressure in this arc was the most personal goal yet. You have to get to the bottom to save Ace. Like before, it was like, oh yeah, Vivi's Kingdom, they're gonna fight in a war. War happened, you know. I don't know, Shirahoshi, the ship was gonna come crashing down or something.
Yeah, and we're not even talking about Marineford, we're talking specifically Impel Down.
Yeah, and the warden of Impel Down, I forget his name.
Oh, like Magellan?
Yeah, I think that was it. He was so cool when he wasn't shitting on the toilet.
Oh, one of the best scenes is just Luffy eating all the foods, surviving the poison. Man, that's just fantastic.
And you get to meet a bunch of cool ass drag queens.
Oh my god, love Ivanka.
And surprise, surprise, Ivanka is related somehow to Luffy's father we don't know shit about at this point.
And Crocodile, who might be a trans man.
Oh, love that headcanon. And you get to see Buggy. Hot Buggy. With the ponytail? No?
Alright, I'll give it to you. The ponytail's a little hot.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's not the nose, it's not the feet.
Hell,
but that
man.
ponytail.
This arc combines a lot of other previous arcs because you brought back the cool villains.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what can I say? They're not a warlord. There's surprisingly some cool villains there. And then we get to our number one choice, which is probably a lot because of nostalgia.
Yeah, probably.
Because we have seen this arc a million times. I used to watch this as a kid just for fun. It is Naruto's tuning exam, a better version of the Hunter x Hunter exam.
Shots fired! To be fair, you can make anything better when you rip off something and as a base.
No, that's true enough.
Okay, every challenge was unique and cool in its own way. Round 1, take a test. They made cheating look cool.
That was amazing. I love everything about that first test. It's just like, the whole Naruto slamming his hand down saying, like, hey, I haven't answered any of these flippant questions, but I am still going to answer the 10th one and become Hokage. And I thought that is the coolest scene ever. Period.
Like, the whole system was really cool. You got to see the Konoha 9, finally flex their powers after being introduced in episode, 2 and then never heard from again.
Oh, don't be like that.
No, I just mean episode 3 they came, they left, and 50 episodes later and one arc later, they come back and we finally get to see their powers.
It also builds a lot about what happened during Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, during their, grade school or ninja academy times, Like, how they grew up to kind of be the way they are.
I want to know who taught the dog how to read. I want to know.
Okay, that part I never understood.
And then you get to round 2 with the Heaven and Earth scrolls. I never read Hunter x Hunter at this point, so I thought that was super cool.
Is that a Hunter x Hunter reference?
It's kind of like the taking the numbers, that's why. And you have to try to take your number, but you don't know what number they have.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And you get to meet Orochimaru, Sasuke's biggest fan.
That's one way of putting it.
And Orochimaru is the main ass villain. The plot for Naruto is finally rolling. And then, I know when I was little, I kinda liked this scene a lot because I was a giant Sasuke fangirl. And I liked it when Sasuke's curse mark activated.
And he beat the shit out of the Sound Ninjas?
Hell yeah, beat the shit out of Sam Riegel.
I like how Rock Lee came to help.
Oh, Rock Lee's such a good character.
We didn't appreciate him enough as a kid.
We did not. We liked him. We didn't realize he was GOAT though.
He's a goat of Naruto's side characters.
Yeah. And then you get to the third part of the exam. The part that Minty reads over and over again. The part Minty can read out verbatim. The tournament.
It has some of the best fight scenes.
That wasn't Sakura Ino.
Dude, I'm gonna go down the list if that's what you want me to do.
You had Neji Hinata beating the shit out of each other. You had Naruto fighting in Kiba's face.
Okay, that was a little weak, but whatever.
You have the greatest anime fights in history. Everyone knows when Rock Lee drops his weights to fight.
Oh, I love that scene so much. I think about it all the time. Cause I think it's the first time I've seen about weight training, and then it's but it's weight training to the extreme.
Yeah, before we knew about Dragon Balls. Like, when you started off as an anime fan in the 2000s, you could not escape that scene where Rock Lee is trying to hit Gara and there's DDR music in the background.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. The Shikamaru Tamari fight, I'm obsessed with. Especially that ending, because I remember watching as a kid. You know, like, they're walking to each other, Tamari's scared out of her mind, Choji's eating his food really fast, because you're like, what is he gonna do to win? And he doesn't. I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on?
And they rewarded him. So that's our criteria. If you don't like our top 3, shut up, leave. No, I'm just kidding. Just say, I miss you. How's your day?
I can completely understand if you don't think Tuning Exam is the greatest, but for us, it's just like, it's one of the first animes we were like truly watching in a time where we can actually remember it.
Yes.
And we saw it so many times and it's just fantastic.
But moving on to our top 3. Would you like to begin? Because after you took out all my god tier lists, I got nothing.
Yeah, me and Annie were kind of talking about it because we were like bored in the car and I was like, oh, I like that arc too. That's no fair. You know what? We'll make a gods tier to represent how we both love this.
You took Tuning Exam and the Red Light District.
Tuning Exam, though, I would have put on my own list without you, but I did take the Red District.
Yes.
I was the one who put Empo down on the top tier.
After stealing mine.
You still have another 3.
Yeah, but I'm not proud of it.
So, you had a shit ton of time to think about this.
No. Okay, I have my top 3. I will stand by them. I'm not proud of them because, like I said, there cannot be too many flaws or else I will nitpick. And there's a lot of animes like Fullmetal Alchemist and Golden Kamuy I cannot divide into art because you have to appreciate them as a whole.
Yeah, those 2 are so well written that they're very interconnected.
Yeah, so I had a really hard time with that.
So for the next 3 of each of our lists, we don't know. Annie kind of knows mine because I won't shut up about my list.
Did you put One Punch Man with the Fish King?
No.
Oh, I thought you liked that.
One Punch Man, the plot gets good after season 1.
Oh.
But the animation was good.
Yeah.
I could just read the manga. Anyway, so let's start off with mine. So my number 3 that I put is the Sport Festival of My Hero Academia.
Ooh, that's a good arc.
So that doesn't have villains, but does have good antagonists with Todoroki and Bakugo. I love that this is a point where Deku has just kind of started using his powers, right? Like, he can only really go like 10% through his finger, right?
Yeah.
But he has thought of such very like ingenuity to get his way to the top. I love like all the logic. I love how this was their way of introducing characters. This is kind of like the Tuning Exam of Naruto, but I wouldn't even say that they're similar in spirit. But other than that, they're very different.
I love the twist ending that Deku didn't win and Ka-chan won. You don't see a lot of animes that does that.
The Todoroki scene of that's his power.
Oh.
That's a powerful scene.
Yeah.
And the fight between Bakugo and Ochako is one of my favorite fights ever.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I think they called it the horse battle, where they have to take the headbands.
Yeah, it's a very, I think, like, not traditional as in, like, old, but, like, traditional as in, like, it's...
Oh, it's called the Calorie battle.
Yeah, like, it's just a very Japanese high school thing to do.
Yeah.
But that was cool. And then them being able to use their powers. And I actually really like Mei. Shut up.
You like those type of characters.
I like the quirky characters who are very expertise in their field. But they're not, like, one note, you know? Like, she's not just obsessed with Deku. She's just obsessed with her babies.
I feel like the couple, Mei and Ida, could have been something if Mei wasn't such a one-dimensional whore.
I love that shit.
Oh, because, you know, Mei's like she makes things, she builds things, she's part of the support class, and she could work on Ida, his legs and power suit.
Alright, let's judge your number 3.
My number 3, not proud of it. The 7 Deadly Sins, the Capital of the Dead. I thought Gila was a really... Okay, you look at me weird, but if I could, I would just pick the whole season 1 of Nanatsu no Taizai as the entire arc, but I know that probably wasn't part of the requirement, so I pinpointed to my favorite moment, so Capital of the Dead. You have Gila, she was a really cool villain, she had the whole exploding magic, you had Bon and King, because, you know, you never expect that King or Sin would turn against his homies that spent so long to look for it. And I just love Bon and Elaine back then when it wasn't weird. I like that story. When you want me to apologize? No. I'm not proud of it. You took a lot of my arcs.
The two things is that, one, you could almost count season 1 as its own arc, in a sense. But I do think it is also split into such mini ones too, because each one individually doesn't make up like a whole arc.
Yeah.
You know, like Shippuden's way longer than that.
Yeah.
Sports Festival is longer than the Capital of Dead.
Yeah.
But to pick that one...
Bitch, like, I was in the Seven Deadly Sins fandom. You think that damn man, Nakaba, didn't lure me into his trap thinking he was a good writer? Again, season 1 of Natsu no Taizai was really good. There was a lot of cool Meliodas scenes. I felt like the plot was coherent enough that I could follow it. There was a lot of cool world buildings.
It doesn't have a good ending though.
To be fair, at the time, Meliodas' only power was counter. So the only thing you could really do with the counter is to combine everyone's powers to be the biggest counter.
Which you actually don't even know about the counter to the last arc. Or, you know, like towards the end, right?
No, it's the first thing he does in the chapter 1.
Oh.
Yeah, the guy, I think his name was Twigo, he does the whole blow, and then like you get one page of like nothing, then the next page, full counter.
Huh. Maybe that whole season is just a junk choice.
Okay, I'm not proud. Like, I was think like I love Dr. Stone exploration arc, but I'm like, man, nothing cool happens there. Ryusui and Francis came, but that's just...
Oh, you're spoiling season 3 for those who haven't seen Dr. Stone.
I'm dropping names.
Big names.
And then like I couldn't in good conscience put that, and I'm racking my brain, and there was no other arcs, and I was like, you know what arc I really like? Not seen it. Okay, my first and second choice is A tier compared to this shit.
I'm pretty speechless with this one, so I'm gonna move on.
Alright.
My number 2, which actually I don't know why it took me this long to kind of figure this out, because every time we think of this arc, we just like in love with it. Inuyasha's 7 band brothers.
Band of 7.
Band of 7.
No brothers. We're not related.
They act like brothers.
My problem with that arc is that I have so much fond, nostalgic memories. I could not in confidence tell you anything that happened in that arc.
What do you need to know? It's a pretty simple arc. If you don't know what this arc is, it's basically Inuyasha and his group have to fight these 7 brothers who, not like blood brothers, but like a band of brothers. More specific on the terms. Under 7 humans, because humans were never the villains until this point. Unless you count Kikyo. Which you do. You should. And they're like these badass 7 dudes. It's like fighting Batman in a sense, because they like have to rely on their tools and their wit and their strength. And Bakotsu's beautiful.
Do you remember any of the fights still?
Yeah.
Oh, well. The only thing I fucking remember is that guy who was a doctor and he didn't want to be a murderer, but he did.
Yeah, and he met Kikyo.
He met Kikyo?
Yeah.
Like that?
No, not like that. Shishomu killed the poison guy, and he was the only one who could... That was a little weak fight, because Shishomu comes out of nowhere.
There was a gay man.
I think, if I remember correctly, I think the fire-breathing guy killed him for his Shikon jewel, though.
The gay man?
Yes.
You bald-ass bastard, that's homophobic.
And then the tank, because one of them dies really quickly.
Yeah.
He's like this ogre-looking dude. And there's the tank. One of my favorite scenes is when Bakotsu wants to get his weapon back.
Yeah.
And so he goes to like this huge castle, and I think he's literally just like uppercutting everyone, so that way their heads are just like in the ceiling as their body hangs dead.
Is he the guy with the surfer accent?
No, we're not going over this again. No one in Inuyasha has a surfer's accent.
I'm gonna find that guy. I know he exists.
I just love the Band of 7. It's a fantastic villain. Great fights. Shishomu's randomly dead, but you know what? To me, always a plus.
No, get the fuck out of here. For someone who, I guess, knows more about the Band of 7 than I thought, that's a good choice. I cannot say anything about it, but I did love it as a child. My number 2. No one's gonna be surprised if they know me. Can you guess?
Please tell me it's not Fairy Tales Phantom.
No, fuck you. It's Fairy Tail, the Grand Magic Games.
Oh, wait, are you counting the dragons?
Oh, hell yeah, I'm counting the dragons.
That arc is good till the dragons come.
Okay, so...
I like the fight for Fairy Tail. That's my favorite Fairy Tail arc.
You have Minty being a slut for the sports festival in My Hero Academia. Every goddamn anime needs a tournament arc somehow. And we have Fairy Tail, the most unique tournament arc I've ever seen. Every day of a 5-day journey was a unique ass battle. you got to see people who wouldn't normally fight because Fairy Tail split into Team A and Team B, and you get to see them fight against each other. And, okay, they do my girl Juvia dirty on point A, B, C, D, but I'm not gonna count that right now because I'm living in the moment. And you telling me the whole Natsu on that train, because he's motion sick as hell, and they're like, why the fuck are you still doing this, you know? And he's like, I'm fighting for my goddamn guild. I don't care about the money. I care that my teammates, my guildmate was suffering for 7 years, and they took that humiliation in hope that I would come back. And we did, and I'm gonna get the goddamn honor back. Because if you remember, them joining the Grand Magical Games was only to put Fairy Tail on top after they were on the literal bottom for 7 years when all the strongest maids was gone. So that was really cool. And then we get to the plot twist of, see, here's the dumb thing that Fairy Tail did right. Normally, when you have a tournament arc and like a bigger backstory, like, you know, villain story in the background, it'll interrupt the tournament. But they didn't let that happen. They split off and they finished the goddamn tournament and it had your favorite Loxus versus Jura scene. They had Urza being a lesbian with Kagura. You had the Groovia quote-unquote unison raid. I gotta take a moment because people bullied me on Tumblr for that, but whatever. And then, then the dragons come, and the dragons not really that, it's like whatever. You get to see some cool dragon designs, like
Shut
Atlas.
up. The whole Grand Magical Game parts, I will say it's pretty perfect. When they involve the dragons, and the time traveling, and the blah 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 blah. Oh my god, Lucy's crying. Rogue's a villain.
Okay,
that part's all just like crap.
One, Carla can go to hell for being like, Lucy was singing in Rebel, and that shit never happened, so go to hell, Carla. You will not understand the cultural upset future Lucy dying in Lucy's arms caused to the fandom. You do not understand all the knowledge. I will confidently say more people ship Natsu with future Lucy than Natsu with present Lucy, because that scene, and then, oh my god, you're totally ignoring the scene where future Lucy finally goes to heaven in the golden fields and finally gets to meet her own guildmates finally, and they all get to go on a never-ending adventure in heaven.
It's just part of Hiro Mishima's crap to avoid real death.
She went to heaven.
You still have Lucy though.
Oh, well, okay.
Like, who the fuck cares about future Lucy? Like, what does it matter?
Oh, yeah. No, okay. You just reminded me of the biggest cop-out of killing Gray and Loxus and having Ultia set back time by 1 minute. But you know what?
Wasn't it like 1 second?
It was I think it was 1 minute. All her life was 1 minute.
Sad.
Oh, okay. Also, I will say this. Another reason why I put this on number 2 is because I feel like the Grand Magical Games was Hiro Mishima peaked at his arc. Every arc afterwards. He's
not judging on art.
As an artist, I will. The facial features of the characters got really softened to the point where all the girls look the same.
Describe what I'm doing.
You're pulling your eyelids down, your bottom lids, with your 2 middle fingers.
I'm crying for you.
Fuck you. Okay, what's your number 1 arc that's better than My Fairy Tail Grand Magical Games, where they all stood over Sting and was beaten to hell, but still look Gloria?
You know what it is. Do you think that's a better arc than that one?
Well, I'm pretty upset you lied to me, and yeah, hell yeah, I'll pick My Fairy Tail over yours. I told you, I don't care for that arc.
My number 1 choice is York New City from Hunter x Hunter, because what is the best villain group of all animes? The Phantom Troupe. Why is it taking so long? The Phantom Troupe.
Trying to, my joke would have landed so well if I remember what Frieza's men who did the gay poses were. The Ginyu Force.
Goku-ken-san, Goku-ken-san.
You gotta admit that, you know, be cool.
Shut the fuck up.
Again, I don't care for York New City, but go on.
York New City is a fantastic arc because it brought back the 4 main characters. It made Kurapika look like a badass. It made Leorio seem like a caring father figure to the... That is the motherfucking scene where at the beginning of the episode, I asked you, who's your favorite character in Hunter x Hunter? And you said it's Killua, which is a fair answer. But this was the episode when Leorio comes all cool and be like, oh no, you guys don't want to buy that phone. That phone's a piece of shit. I'll find you a good phone. And you're like, Leorio! Ah! And I was like, you like Leorio? And you're like, I guess so.
I think it's because Leorio on paper is such an uncool character. You don't want to admit the dad friend's your favorite character.
You just like doodle glasses.
I know.
Besides that, I just love the Phantom Troop because they're such good villains. They're just pure evil, but they have like this unity about them. Minus Hisoka, because he ain't a true Phantom Troop villain, but he added another dimension to the group, or to that arc, really.
The only cool moment was when Kurapika fought, what's his name? Uvo.
What about Chrollo fighting the Zodiacs?
Yeah, that's on you, boo.
No, that's a good scene.
No, that's on you.
That's a fantastic scene. What about when Chrollo was singing his, having the troops kill a bunch of people and saying this song is for Uvo?
No. What?
Yeah. Don't you remember
No,
that?
I remember it. I remember it being okay.
They were sad that he was, because I think he's one of like the original members.
Okay.
I think only 6 of them are the original members, and then they brought in like other people.
Yeah, because you have to kill an old spider if you want to be a new spider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really care for Victor City. Not my favorite Hunter x Hunter arc.
There's the fortune telling. There's the I forget what her name is, but she dies.
The
so she can,
nose lady.
Yeah, so she can give the team. I think she gives like the original 6 members the memories of what's going on.
What was her power? She had a gun.
She had a gun and she can infiltrate people's memories.
Oh.
I think there has to be a certain criteria that her victims have to do for her to access it.
Okay. What?
York New City is like one of the best.
I'll take Fate Grand Magical Game over York New City any day of the goddamn week.
How long did it take you to figure out the timeline shit?
We don't gotta talk about that.
The 3 different timelines? You don't want to talk about that? Which you would think nothing was more confusing than Dragon Ball's timeline, but that's simple compared to the whole fucking Lucy and Rogue thing.
Yeah.
And the dragons.
God, I forgot that introduced Lecter and Frost. Hate the X-Seeds. Oh
You're
my
the
god.
only one.
I hate animal mascots. That's what Hunter x Hunter has going. Anyways, I just want to wrap up this episode. My number 1 was My Hero Academia Sports Festival arc.
Nah!
Yeah, it was.
What?
So when you said that, I was like, oh, whoa, we're going to end early today. What can I say?
Fantastic.
Great arc. The scene where Deku says, that's your power, and Todoroki was pushed to use both fire and ice. That's cool. Tokoyami was a bamf.
Oh! Yeah, I like that he joined Deku's team even though nobody wanted to join Deku.
Cause yeah, we all thought it was gonna be Ida. Oh my god, that reminds me, Deku did throw himself at a landmine to get number 1.
I love that scene.
Yeah.
That whole slamming the ground with that metal plate to launch himself. Fantastic. I love that Ida didn't choose Deku.
Yeah, it was
I'm
really
glad
cool.
he chose the team because he wanted to win and he was truly moved by the main character. Like a lot of characters will say, oh, I was moved, but then it's like, then nothing happens. But he was so moved that he was like, I can't join you, Deku, because in order to win, I can't be on your team.
And then, the only thing wrong with that arc was that Sensho became overrated. I'm just kidding. Bye.